Welcome. It is Terry-Dwayne Ashford here with you at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday night, May 19th. You with SNnews. I'm your Jick, journalist and chief broadcaster, bringing it to you like you like it. Bring it to you like you need it, like you want it, like you asked for it. And now, from Indacarseat, that guy, Terry-Dwayne Ashford.
Dwayne Ashford.
You got it.
Original broadcast. SNnews.
Before we begin the Wednesday night broadcast, SNnews, StreetNOW News, under the voice of Terry-Dwayne Ashford, we want to give a shout out and a thank you to Vishal, who just took Terry-Dwayne Ashford's call regarding a proposal management role. And we want to give a shout out to Vishal at RealSoft, I think is the name of the company, to say thank you for taking our call. It was really late. It was about 7 p.m. when I gave the recruiter the phone call, or returned this phone call. The email was received earlier in the day. I'm just now getting an email. And Vishal was gracious enough to take the call late in the evening. I did offer to give him a call tomorrow. I actually picked up the phone and hit the button and dialed the number before I even looked at the time. It was unprofessional for me. I'm not going to say unprofessional, but it was a little hasty on my part to not look at the time before I made the call or before I hit the button. But once I got on the call, I did apologize immediately and said, if I need to give you a call back tomorrow because it's 7 o'clock, you might be having dinner or something, being respectful of that. But if you can talk, I'll be happy to carry out the business right now, and that is what Vishal was gracious enough to do with Terry-Dwayne Ashford, StreetNOW News, tonight. So we want to give a shout out to him first before we get started on tonight's broadcast. Wednesday night, May 19th it is, and you're hearing the voice of Terry-Dwayne Ashford, StreetNOW News. We do want you to go to our narrative, the narrative of this particular broadcast. It connects you to the news stories that was done by Terry-Dwayne Ashford, written entirely by your journalist and chief broadcaster, and that was published and aired during the morning broadcast for today. So we want you to make sure you go into the narrative there and check out those stories. The second thing we want to do for you is we want to bring you this evening's broadcast. Yeah, it's evening now. It's evening. Wednesday evening, May 19th. The voice you're hearing right now is of Terry-Dwayne Ashford. This particular program is produced by Terry-Dwayne Ashford, directed by Terry-Dwayne Ashford, managed by Terry-Dwayne Ashford. The reporting is by Terry-Dwayne Ashford, and the photograph on the cover of this particular broadcast is of Terry-Dwayne Ashford, taken at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Washington, D.C. That is me. I'm him because you made me him. I'm your in the car. See, that guy. We also want to mention to you that the sounds you're hearing in our backstage tonight is that sound. Those sounds that was created by Terry-Dwayne Ashford, all for you. This particular beat is called Grooving With You. It's a composition composed by your SNnews chick, Terry-Dwayne Ashford, also for you. And we want to give you an update on Roland Garros. It's going to be starting around May 30th. And we're going to be doing some broadcasting from our StreetNOW sports segment, tennis specifically. And during that broadcast, you will hear another original musical piece composed by Terry-Dwayne Ashford, all for you once again. So you enjoy as we prepare to bring you headlines around the nation. Tonight we're talking about 3 stories tonight, really quickly within a time frame. One story is coming from the Associated Press. The second story is who was brought to us, SNnews here, by CNN, and we're going to be delving into another story from the NYPost. And we're going to talk about that story. That's the source for those stories, but you're getting your news here from SNnews, StreetNOW News, with Terry-Dwayne Ashford as your broadcaster. All for you. About the music. Grooving with you by Terry-Dwayne Ashford was meant to ignite the underlying parts of your soul, not the spirit. Let us rock. Alrighty. Then we're coming right on back with headlines around the world. We're going to start with a story that CNN published today by a writer by the name of Josiah Ryan, talking about how Philadelphia has dimmed some of its skyline lights after a mass collision that killed thousands and thousands of migrating birds. Look like somebody's concerned with the birds these days. They're concerned with the birds these days. You're getting your report right now from Terry-Dwayne Ashford, SNnews, and that is the story we're talking about from CNN today. Now, according to the headlines by CNN, it states that nearly 20 buildings in the city of Philadelphia are dimming their lights after thousands of birds perished in the city's largest mass collision in recent history. So they're trying to save the bird. It was a voluntary measure that's been made and coordinated under an effort that's called Bird Safe Philly. Bird Safe Philly has dimmed the lights so that we can save some birds alive. About 100 million birds, as the article states, pass over the city of brotherly love on their migrations. It's almost like the Heron Highway, the Rock Creek Park, where the fish spawn up and they're saving the fish. And the Heron Highway here in Washington, D.C., right there in Philly, they are dimming the lights to save the birds that are migrating there. That particular story was brought to us by CNN, and it's been brought to you by SNnews, strictly. Terry-Dwayne Ashford, your journalist-in-chief, broadcaster, and also your Indacarseat DatGuy. One of the things that was discussed in that particular news story was that it seems intuitive to leave the lights on, thinking that the lights on would assist the birds in seeing. It might seem to be intuitive to leave them on by some standards here, but a senior fellow at the Academy of Natural Sciences of Drexel University explains that most migrating birds, which they call fowl in the article, navigate by light. They navigate by light. And the sun and the moon and the stars light. That's how they navigate. So it appears that the light that was being provided by the skyline of Philly was interrupting and disrupting the natural light that the birds needed in order to carry on their migration. So the city of brotherly love is now going to dim those lights to save about 100 million birds who are migrating over the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia. This particular news is coming to you from SNnews. Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, brought first to us through CNN. Well, we here at SNnews, we've talked a lot about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let us jump really quick into another Real Housewife show, this time of New Jersey. Dolores Katina has gotten a full plastic surgery ahead of the RHONJ, the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. Yeah, Dolores has always put her best body forward, according to the article coming from page 6, New York Post there. But so she's gotten a full plastic surgery. Why don't you check out the Real Housewives of New Jersey and see what she looks like now versus what you remember she looked like before. To me, she looks a little bit like Serena Williams with longer hair on the photograph published from page 6, a publication there. In the recent interview, Page 6 Style, the 50-year-old reality star proclaimed that she probably does the most of anyone on the Housewives franchise to prepare for each of the season's special. And so she said that she got a full plastic surgery. She got a full body lipo. She got a brand new, oh Lord, she got a brand new vagina too. Lord have mercy. Forgive me. She said, but I don't know what it has to do with the reunion, but I figured while I'm doing everything, why not? Yeah. Those ladies keep us entertained and we love it. Dolores Katina got a full plastic surgery ahead of the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. This particular news is coming to you from Terry-Dwayne-Ashford SNnews, brought to us from NYPost and by way of Page 6 publication. We're going to close out with that particular one. We're going to come back in a part 2 to give you that last story that we promised you. And that's going to do it for right now. I'm Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, your SNnews chick. Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, your closing closing out part 1. Coming right on back with part 2.